Global Champions League round 2 from Madrid about to get underway in a few moments' time. The sun probably still far away from setting, but seems to be a bit of cloud cover overhead trying to cool some conditions down. And it has been an exceptionally hot afternoon, and the action from round 1 has been equally brilliant. Rupert Bell on commentary this weekend joins us live in studio. We're going to get some thoughts in a moment. For now, let's show you the results of round 1 and bring you up to speed as to what took place in that opening stage of GCL. It was the Shanghai Swans. They were dominant in that opening round. They've been dominant all season long thus far. Already 2 victories this season. The championship leaders do it again in Madrid with one of only 2 double clears alongside Falcons United. Their own Gladiators still very much in the mix with only 2 time penalties. And then, well, those teams in 4, they cannot be discounted. Doha Falcons, Istanbul Warriors, as well as the Basel Cosmopolitans. Another time penalty perhaps keeps the Monaco Comets somewhat in no man's land on 5. But you would imagine that the winner from Madrid should find themselves coming outside of those top 7 teams. After that, from the Saint-Tropez Pirates down, those on 8 might find it a bit of a long shot to get themselves onto the podium after difficulty in the opening round. It's not a guarantee that, of course, one of those teams, especially the double clear, will be the victor, but they certainly do have a pretty good starting point to kick off GCL round 2. Rupert, thank you for your time today. Let's talk about round 1. What stood out for you? Obvious the double clears, but there was a lot to take out of there, wasn't there?
The treble.
Yeah.
Fence 8 seemed to just catch many out. But what it was interesting is that the cream rose to the top because you needed to be experienced. Because the course had said it looked fairly straightforward early on, but then in the second half, that's when the sort of drama seemed to unfold. From 8, 9 was then catching them out as well. But when you look at the double clears, the quality of the double clears, you then look, and it was great to see a couple of young riders put in great performances. But it wasn't just the wise heads that were showing how it should be done. So that's why I think it's set up for an intriguing second round. But it was fascinating the way, you know, the Shanghai Swans are on a roll. Falcons United, that was good. You know, Marcus Enning was a masterclass. And Gilles Thomas, I don't know what he's on. Yeah. I've just had an enormous donut, but he's got something else going.
He's been doing it for the last 12 to 18 months, let me tell you.
There was 2 great rounds. In fact, the top 2 teams, 4 perfect exhibitions of how to jump what was a trappy course, because it offered you no let-up if you lost your concentration for a moment.
What makes the second round exciting, as you pointed out, with their own Gladiators on the time penalty, very much in the mix, a handful of teams on 4. All of a sudden, when you have 6, 7 or 8 teams that can win this, that makes round 2 incredibly open, doesn't it?
Yeah, remember, we've got hark back to Shanghai. We had 3 double clears, but they didn't win.
Yeah.
So,
and isn't that just a wonderful reminder as to how this can go quite south if you are switching off?
Therefore, the teams, though, with Shanghai Swan, okay, they've got the same riders, different horses, and then with Falcons United, they're changing a little horsepower. But Hans-Dieter Dreyer comes in for Marcus Enning, so that will be interesting. But again, they look good. The team, I'm so pleased to see Roy van Berk, big 2 timefuls, but he's been given a vote of confidence. He's going again on the same horse, which is a great testament to what the GCL is all about. You know, bringing on young riders and giving them the chance to shine on an international stage. But the 4 falters that you're alluding to, the one team that I think that might suddenly find, if they go clear, and they've got they can put the pressure on the following teams, are Istanbul Warriors.
A lot of eyes on Istanbul this weekend. A lot of people seem very excited by them.
I said with Henrik von Eckermann and Abdul Saeed, Ileana for Henrik von Eckermann, Bonami, an LGCT winner as well this season for Abdul Saeed. If they go double clear, then the pressure will be on the other teams following. So don't discount Istanbul Warriors. I think they'll just turn up the heat on the double clears, and you never know, we might see what happened in Shanghai a couple of weeks back with the 4 falter coming on to win.
And right after them, just by the way, we have Doha Falcons, who with Julien Acatin and Jérôme Guéry, 2 exceptional riders, as well a team on 4. So if they do jump double clear, keep it on 4, and that pressure on the Shanghai Swans, that pressure on Falcons United will start to climb exceptionally. We call it scoreboard pressure. That scoreboard pressure will start to rise exceptionally the later and later that we go. Course walk is officially underway. We're going to get some reaction from the riders in a few moments' time. Rupert, thank you. We'll let you to get back into your commentary booth. He'll be taking you through later on today. Let's show you the start list and give you an idea as to how teams will shape up in that second round of Global Champions League from the reverse order of GCL round 1. The Paris Panthers will be the first team to go. Madrid in motion, well, that was disappointing for them, I'm afraid. They will find themselves with a very, very early start. Somewhat of a surprise afternoon for Michael van der Vleuten in particular and for Eduardo Alvarez Aznar, both of them having a very high penalty count. New York Empire, Scandinavian Vikings and Riesenbach International. That is a surprise in 5th, powered by Horst Sturm. Riesenbach International, a 4 for Marco Kutscher, an 8 for Christian Kuckuck. They will be very early to go and will be hoping for a double clear to try and get as many championship points out of Madrid as possible. But even if that were the case, they find themselves on 12 penalties, which should see them finish mid-table at best. But as we pointed out, those teams from the Monaco Comets, Basel Cosmopolitans, going down to the Istanbul Warriors, and those 2 teams on double clear, that is where you begin to imagine that we are starting to see where our winner is going to be. Rosie Turner standing by for us to get some thoughts, some reaction as well. Rosie Turner, Global Champions League round 2 live from Madrid. This is proving to be a very exciting afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Alongside me now, Ludger Beerbaum. And it was a very unlucky first round for Riesenbach International. What's your take on it?
Yes, I agree, but you know, this happens, and it's actually not the first time for us. We didn't get the best start until now in the season, but that's how it is. We still believe in the riders and horses combination. That's why we don't change anything. And I'm quite sure they can do much better than in the first round.
You are the only team that's not changed anything, but we see this quite a lot from the team, that you don't make any changes. What's the tactic behind that?
There's not really a tactic behind. You know, we have 1 or 2 other options, other horses. But I think also for then a fresh horse to come and do this as the first round, a 160 track, I don't really think this is such a big advantage. I think it's actually quite nice when the horses are a little bit in the rhythm and up and running on this level. And both horses, even though they had falls in the first round, didn't look like they were struggling. Or I think they both jumped the second half of the course much better than the first. So that's why I think they're just ready for this round.
Lastly, I was watching you watch Mila and Nadia go round in such an incredible combination. What's it like for you to watch that?
It's actually a really joy, I have to say. I couldn't be more happy, because you never really know, even though, I mean, it was always a special horse to me and she did great things. But then you don't know how the match will really end up with a new rider. It's always a bit of a gamble. And in this case now, Nadia and Mila, they seem to just match perfectly, and it's definitely a really joy for me to watch it.
You said to me earlier that if you're having a really grumpy day, then you just want to go and watch Mila and Nadia and everything's happier again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and it's not only one time now, 1 or 2 shows. From day one, the mare enjoys the way she rides her, and this is really nice to watch.
Have you been part of that training at all?
Not really. I mean, I brought the horse to where she was, and then I was actually giving her a little bit of hand in the beginning in Doha, where they started on a smaller level, and told her a little bit the attitude she has behind, you know, in the warm-up and in the stable and basic stuff. But already then, actually the first round, you could see, even though she never tried her, she just got on it and felt good. And the way she rides also, with no, you know, hard aids or soft ride, let her travel a little bit to the fences. It's just what she loves, and that's great.
Well, listen, it's wonderful to see. Good luck to Riesenbach International for round 2. We will let you go, Ludger. Thank you for chatting to us. It's so wonderful to hear from Ludger. I was watching him watch Nadia and Mila go round in the first round, and proud is definitely the word I would use. As he said, she's a very sympathetic rider, and it suits the combination perfectly, Mark.
For many reasons, many people thoroughly enjoying watching Mila perform, and Ludger Beerbaum, who so cautiously and so brilliantly in the early stages of Mila's career was able to guide her into the point that she now finds herself, and as he admits, still finds some enjoyment in going on to watch her jump still in the Global Champions League. Ludger Beerbaum having some comments with Rosie Turner and talking about that, not necessarily a tactic, as he says, but the idea behind Riesenbach International to keep the same team, to keep the same horses, and try and keep that momentum going into that second round. It's always been part of the DNA of Riesebeck International, even dating back to the Berlin Eagle days. It was very much built into their DNA that you were not very often going to see changes taking place from the first round into the second round. Let's pop back to Rosie. I want to get some thoughts on her with regards to the changes in round two. Rosie, we spoke a lot about the opening round. We spoke about a very exciting, young, refreshing lineup in round one. I imagine with a bigger, more challenging course in round two that there have been changes. Talk to me about some of those that have really stood out for you. We've heard from Ludger, no changes there. Let's talk about some of the other teams. What stands out? Who's done what?
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. As you said just now, that actually the first round definitely seemed like the newbies coming in, whereas now we have the veterans coming in for round two. It's a bigger course and it's going to be definitely more intense. One team I do really want to talk about is Istanbul Warriors. Definitely a team that I've pinpointed for this weekend, actually, because they had a brilliant first round with two new horses, and yet they can still bring it out the bag with the second round with their two best horses, Iliana coming in for Henrik von Eckermann and Bon Ami coming in for Abdul Saeed. You've got to say something about that combination. They are definitely not out of this competition yet, but a lot of these big horses coming through. Just to name a few more as well, as I look down the running order. H&M Miro for Olivier Philipparts. They had a really disappointing first round, actually. Stockholm Hearts definitely need to bring something back for that. But Madrid in Motion, another team that had a bit of a disappointing first round, but they bring in O'Bailey and also crowd favourite Rockefeller. Be sure to hear that roar when Rockefeller comes into the arena with Eduardo Asner. So there are some really big combinations coming into round two, and I think that's what's been really exciting about today. We've been lucky enough to see some of the newer horses who have been fabulous, and now we get to see the veterans, Mark.
Well, it's going to be very exciting for that second round. Rosie Turner, thank you very much. Some interesting changes that have taken place, some new horsepower coming in, a few rider changes we've seen in Falcons-White United in particular. Hans-Dieter Dreyer in there too. Rosie, go grab us some riders. We'll come back to you in a few moments' time. Plenty of them around. The riders are officially underway with their course walk, trying to make sure that whatever challenge has been set for the second round, that they are going to try and measure it to perfection to make sure that it is them and their team that can be top of the podium come the end of the afternoon here in what is turning out to be a magnificent day in the Spanish capital. Let's look at the virtual rankings. If things were to end right now, if we were to stop the count and press stop, what would the Global Champions League in Madrid look like? The Shanghai Swans would go on and take maximum points yet again. They would break into the 100s. The first team in triple figures. They would be at 101 and have an over 20-point lead over the Cannes Stars. The defending champions Cannes Stars would then see that lead really start to grow. Falcons-White United would continue to climb. The Prague Lions would then find themselves in fourth place. And New York Empire, they continue to make up some ground. That is what the virtual rankings look like now if it were to stop immediately. Once again, let's get some thoughts and some reaction. We told you that Rosie Turner has the opportunity to speak to some riders, to grab some thoughts, to get some reaction as to what is taking place inside this ring. Rosie, who do you have for us?
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I've actually got our course designer, Santiago Varela, alongside me now. Let's just talk about round one, though, because the triple caused so many problems there. As a course designer, what are you hoping for when you see the round go?
No, the round, I believe that it worked very well. It was 10 clear rounds, and two teams are in clean. There are a couple of teams, or there are one team with 2 points, and other 3 or 4 with 4 points. Basically, this arena make a lot of job. It's different, and it's not a flat arena, and obviously always when the fences are in a long way are much more technical and complicated than the people believes. Then this arena for the first day is, I think that works very well, and the horses jump well. The question about the triple combination is this triple combination always make faults when you make this triple isolated, vertical, oxer, vertical, and the verticals are a little bit bigger than the oxer, always change the balance of the horses in the air and make quite different. No, it's difficult to arrive and it's difficult to jump, but it was not so extremely big, but it was big enough, and the proof is that a lot of fault coming in this fence and also in the next plank. And because the next plank changed 2 times the balance, because part of the way onto the plank it was up on the hill, and the other part it was down on the hill, and this changed a lot the balance of the horses.
Let's talk about round 2 then, because obviously you've got to make it bigger, you've got to probably make it more technical as well. It's a much bigger course, it's a bigger competition, I guess. Where do you think the problems are going to be lying here?
I hopefully there will not be problems. I hope that
Poles coming down, I mean.
No, but the poles coming down everywhere. But I think that it's a different course, no? It's a little bit more related distances than before. Means that not necessarily is much more technical or much more complicated. It's different. The technical usage is slightly different. I think that the horses will jump very well. I hope that the horses will jump well. I am not sure that verticals are quite high, but the oxer are normal oxer for 160 classes. I think that it will be fault, hopefully not concentrated. It will be fault everywhere. Obviously, the triple combination is early. And when the triple is early, in an early stage, the horses that jump before, at least they are not so tired. Then the new horses also for them, it will be, I think, easier when the triple is in the first part. It's not casual that the triple on the second round is early than in the first one. No?
There's quite a lot to think about in your job, probably more than we all understand. What do you think is the toughest part, particularly going from round 1 to round 2, for you to be thinking about?
I think that, well, in this case, the last line that are for fences with related distances between the Oxer of Madrid and the plank of Marquès de Riscal, and after the Oxer and the global champions. I think that this is a line that will create some problem, because it's very optional. There are optionalities on that, but also the line between the triple to the other two. There is a question between 8 to 9 that looks like nothing, but is quite different, because the Oxer of Cácer is a little bit up on the hill, and that means that they need to decide where they need to take off, and this could make the difference for the rest of the course.
It's going to be a tough course again. Round 1, we saw some poles coming down. I'm sure there'll be faults, as he says, round 2 as well, and hopefully everywhere on the course, not just in one place, Mark.
Thank you very much to Rosie, and thank you very much to Santiago Varela, the course designer here in Madrid, trying to make sure that there is the perfect balance between challenge, between the riders and the horses, and making sure that even the fans that have come out here get a wonderful show. Fans want to see clears, but of course it is the course designer's job to try and encourage those fences to come down, because that's what you want from the best riders in the world. A magnificent show of what is taking place here in Madrid as we get ready for the second round of GCL action. Make sure you come and join us. GCL round 2 is next.